Greetings and salutations, my fellow Americans. I am Robert Vincent Brannum. I am a retired veteran. My fellow Americans, the word or term testimony has a significance legally and spiritually. In a courtroom, testimony is a formal written or spoken statement given under oath. Spiritually, the term to testify or to give one's testimony means to tell the story of how one became a Christian. My fellow Americans, the essence of giving testimony, either legally or spiritually, is telling the truth. Donald Trump and extreme far right-wing MAGA Republicans have a problem with truth and people who testify truthfully in courtrooms, in churches, or during staged MAGA Republican congressional hearings. Donald Trump has already been found not credible in his testimony in a legal courtroom, and MAGA congressional Republicans are frightened to have certain witnesses testify in public hearings. Across MAGA media and MAGA social media, there is clear evidence the truth is the enemy of MAGA conservatism. Donald Trump is not only a testimonial liar, but also a racist, a bigot, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, sexist, attacker of gays, lesbians, transgender Americans, advocates for violence, vengeance, and white supremacy. MAGA Republicans worship Donald Trump, endorse and join his narcissistic promotion of authoritarianism, white supremacy, extremism, violence, and vulgarity. During the 2024 Republican presidential campaign, MAGA Republicans like Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Speaker Mike Johnson, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds, Jim Jordan, and Marjorie Taylor Greene rallied to defend him in his reckless claim of presidential immunity. Hypocritically, Donald Trump's claim of presidential immunity is not to the office of president, but rather invoked only for himself, Donald Trump. You don't hear any claim by Donald Trump or any MAGA Republican that former President Barack Obama and current President Joe Biden possess presidential immunity for their acts as president. MAGA media like Fox News, One American News, Newsmax, The Washington Times, and The Washington Examiner heavily lean into the misinformation and disinformation about America's confidence and resolve to dissuade Americans of Donald Trump's offenses and unfitness for any office of public trust, let alone his re-election as President of the United States. My fellow Americans, the MAGA Republican political world is filled with fantasy, illusion, election deniers, conspiracy theories, and opposition to the Constitution and democracy. They are not filled with the Holy Spirit, but rather soaked in the blood of racism, bigotry, white supremacy, vulgarity, and violence. My fellow Americans, at the moment of testimony, legally and spiritually, a person reveals his or her heart and soul. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans have revealed theirs. My fellow Americans, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have testified they love the Constitution, democracy, justice, equality, truth, and freedom. My fellow Americans, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up in the fight against lies, racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, sexism, attacks on gays, lesbians, transgender Americans, white supremacy, violence, vengeance, and vulgarity. My fellow Americans, you can trust President Biden and Vice President Harris. You can stand with President Biden and Vice President Harris. You can testify for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you.